I'm Chris, founder and CTO of Exit Games, and we built Photon. So we have half an hour, and we are pretty packed with slides because I share this session with Mark from PlayFab, who will, in the second 15 minutes, tell you more about PlayFab. So what we do is we make multiplayer simple, so that's our idea, vision. And so building, so it's all about multiplayer, what we do, middleware, software as a service. And Photon focuses on a very particular piece of the whole multiplayer puzzle, and that's connecting, matchmaking, and gameplay. So that's all we do. But of course, there is tons of other stuff that you have to take care of, like accounts and data storage and push notifications, leaderboards, stores, running scripts on servers, doing live operations and all that stuff. And that's actually what PlayFab is doing. So these guys are doing much more than we actually. So this is how, let's say, what I did basically 8 years ago. So it's pretty funny. So I pulled out these old screenshots and videos from YouTube. So we built mobile multiplayer on Nokia phones. So Series 40, Series 60. I don't know if anyone has built games for these devices back in the days. And we actually already did cross-platform gameplay from console to PC. From a Wii to a PC, we did a little Pong game as a demo, which was kind of funny to see. A lot of the companies who were back in the day successful are now founders of Supercell and Rovio and these guys. So I know these guys from really early days, and they were pretty good at that time already. So initially we started very focused on real-time multiplayer. So the product up there in the middle, it's called Photon Realtime. In the meantime, we expanded quite a bit, so we have a bunch of products. So Photon Realtime, it's all about synchronous multiplayer. So it's a turnkey API. We run servers around the world. You can just connect and matchmake. It's using super optimized protocols, reliable UDP, but we support TCP as well for Flash and WebSockets for WebGL, and JavaScript, obviously, and an HTTP fallback. So, but our preferred protocol is reliable UDP, so for really fast-paced games, and to make it suitable for AAA studios as well. We expanded it with a turn-based product, so you are able to build easily turn-based games and leave games and return to games, make asynchronous type of games, whereas Photon products always have a little focus on synchronous multiplayer rather than Clash of Clans type of games where you're completely asynchronous and not really playing with other players at the same time. We have a chat product which does pretty much what it says. So it's text chat. So it's a pub-sub type of approach, so you can have subscribe and publish in channels, a little bit like IRC, let's say, so you can have a global channel and a clan channel and a game channel and subscribe to all these channels and send messages around. So we are right now adding bad word filtering and moderation tools and stuff like that. Not yet announced on the website, so it's the first time we say it public. We are about to launch a product called Photon Voice. So which again, the name is pretty clear. So it's easy drop-in in-game voice. So it's great for VR projects, for example, but obviously you can build any kind of voice application. So you can build your own phone application, basically. What's fun, you can attach audio sources in Unity to different objects. So if you are in VR, you really hear the voice from actually the person you're talking to. It's kind of weird if the voice would come, let's say, from somewhere. We have a special Unity product called Photon Unity Networking. It's PUN. It's not related to the old Unity networking and not related to the new one as well. It's just the name we came up with 4 years ago. It's very popular in the Unity Asset Store, making synchronization and everything super easy to use. And on top, a new product we just acquired, like a one-man show company from Sweden. He built in the past years a product called Bold, which is a peer-to-peer networking solution. So I will go a little bit more in detail in networking topologies a little bit later. And it's like complementary to all our products, so we now try to cover all the different use cases you might have. Okay, so we have let's see. We offer Photon Server, which is, so we always allow developers to self-host everything. So we give you our high-performance socket server, where you can run everything on your own. On top, we try to make it convenient for you to use our cloud services. But that's kind of a USP from us. You can always use Photon Server and self-host and do everything on your own. So it's like a socket server which handles 20,000, 25,000 concurrent connections on a single machine. So it's super powerful, so it will completely swamp your network card. On top, you develop in C#, so it's very easy from Unity to leverage it. But that's, let's say, our focus to make it easy is, so we run servers around the globe in the US, in Europe, in Asia, and in a lot of different locations where you can just use our services and build games. So the cloud is running pretty well. So we, in the past 3 years, so we now reached about 110,000 developers signed up for Photon, which is great, about 3,000 every month. So we see a lot of the biggest companies signing up, which is great. 55 million monthly active users, generating more than 1.5 petabyte of traffic. So it's tremendous. We are at Exit Games, we are a small team of 15 people, and actually the whole infrastructure is managed by just one person, which is pretty cool, I think. So we have a lot of indie studios, but very professional studios as well. So companies like Square Enix or 2K or Codemasters, but like super great indies like Muse Games or CMU and FreeGem, 22 Cans are relying on our services. Like I said, we are very popular in the Unity Asset Store, so very in the most popular section, very high. Sometimes when there are special announcements, we are in the top grossing, and we are in the top 10 free, let's say, download. So it's worth to give it a try. It's free to use. I want to dive a little bit into networking topologies. So there are, in general, 2 different types of networking solutions, let's say. One is a peer-to-peer type of approach. So that was a reason why we acquired the Bold technology. So it allows you within a LAN to do multiplayer and discovery without having external servers. So that's what you see on the left side. So you have a bunch of clients in a LAN which is not connected to the internet at all. All these clients can discover each other, connect directly, and do stuff. On the right side, you see matchmaking services which are common for, let's say, the bigger games you sell in asset stores or Steam and so on, where you have central matchmaking services which can be hosted by us or, of course, can be hosted by yourself. So that's a matchmaking piece. So gameplay, again, on the left side, you see the peer-to-peer approach, which is, let's say, the UNet approach as well. So you have 3 clients, and actually one of the clients is the host, where the other clients connect to, and he is acting as let's say, an authoritative kind of logic. So what Bold offers is complete punch-through services. So if clients are behind nuts, you sometimes, well, you can't connect. So this punch-through service is actually punching through a hole there in the firewall and then connects peers directly. And we will include like relay services, so in case punch-through doesn't work out, you can run through the relay. On the right side, you see the classical Photon architecture or client-server architecture. So you have central services, all the clients connect to that central service, and that has a lot of advantages. It's very straightforward. It's defined server infrastructure with guaranteed bandwidth on the on. So it's pretty predictable. So, but with Bold and the Photon technology, we cover pretty much everything there. Authoritative logic it's like a huge topic. I could fill here at least like an hour talking. So I'm happy if you stop by our booth or in the speakers corner later on if you want to discuss that. So there are two approaches again. So one is a headless. You run Unity headless instances basically and do authoritative logic there. Or let's say the way we used to do it in Photon, where you run C# logic, pure C# logic on the server side. Everything has a lot of pros and cons, so you need to think. So there's not one solution that fits all. It's a pretty interesting topic, and I'm happy to discuss it. So we have hundreds of games live. Check out our website. You can download everything, sign up there. Lots of big games, small games, successful games, not so successful games. Yeah, and I hand over to Mark, and hope to chat with you later.
Hi guys. So while waiting that the slide arrive, I can tell you a bit about PlayFab. So we are from Seattle, and we are a live game operation platform. We are all seniors who have been in the industry for a long time, and we decided to actually build the best platform ever. So let me go back a little bit. All right, and okay, so that's me. So I worked also for Unity in the past, and Ubisoft, and now PlayFab, and we make it super awesome. So just to tell you a bit about the presentation, we're going to talk about the steps to go to build, launch, and grow a game, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about like what is PlayFab and what it can do for you. So if we take like building, first you have to choose, will you make a pay-to-play game or a free-to-play game? That's kind of the reality of today. But in the end, if you want to have a successful title, it's all about making it as a service, so that you can, even if you're making a pay-to-play game, you have to entertain it, add content, and make sure that users are happy, and then try to find out other players to buy your game. So if we think about game as a service as a whole, first, like localization is super important. 55% of the people who will buy something into your app or will buy your app will do it in their own languages. All right, so that's an important fact. And if you translate your app or your game into 10 different languages, you're already covering 85% of all the internet. So it's really something you have to think about. And nowadays, power users, which is the topic of today again, they like to create, they like to have an experience with your game so that they can share outside. So you have to make sure that you have the parts that are necessary to do this inside of the game. So it's either by sharing through Facebook, or it's easy to find through Steam or Xbox Live and whatnot, and or on mobile. And since we are talking worldwide, your data has to be global, it has to be fast, and also you need the player's account for everyone, so depending on where they're coming from, and you have to build an economy, and since everyone has different persona, depending on which culture they are from, you have to make the game for them, and that's another part to remember. So here's some tips. So let's talk about pricing. You have to make pricing anchoring, so it means that you start at a fairly high price for your items inside of your game, and then it's easier to put the price lower than making them higher after that. So it's the same logic as when you go to the electronic market and you want to buy a TV. Price doesn't go up with time, it goes down with time. So you have to keep that in mind. And as for content, always make sure that there's something to do in your game, and also that it's to make a game that is fast to start, fast to quit, and that it has an endless experience. So when you want to launch the game after that, you have to make sure that the content is for the persona, as I was saying earlier, and also that you have enough content for them. And here's some interesting stat again, is that 60% of the players who play more than 10 hours a week in your game will pay. All right, so 10 hours of content a week is a lot of things. So it's either you have a repetitive game, or you're making happy hours, or you're making something with your community, but you have to be engaging with them. Either you have a clan, or you have a chat, or they have something to come back to do something in the game. And globally, across all the games, 2.8% of the players are spenders. So that's like nothing. So if you want to have a successful game, you have to aim at least 5% of the people who play your game that will convert as a payer if you're making a free-to-play title. So here's what you need in terms of mathematics to have a successful game. So conversion rates times average revenue per paying users times active users. So if you have one of these three KPI successfully, then you have a good game. If you have 2 or 3, you're going to make a ton of money. So that's important. At the moment that your lifetime value of your users is over $1.60, then you can actually go in marketing and start buying users, and your game will grow. So, talking about growing. Yes, you need to have a lot of content, but also you need to take care of your users and make sure that you're making content that is interesting for them. And a big proof for that is if you look at the top 100 of the games that are in the App Stores and iOS and Google Play Store, it's the same game at 56%. So in the last 12 months, 56% of the games that are in the top 100 are the same. If we look at the top 10, it's 80%. All right, so these guys actually nail it in terms of having replayability and less content and all these things. So, PlayFab. PlayFab, what are we doing? In fact, we're doing pretty much everything I just talked about. So all the services, all the tools, and all the things that are required to power these kind of services, well, we do it. So we started to be public 10 months ago now. So that's we're young, but still we have some impressive stat. And Photon is included inside of PlayFab, and we are also on PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, and Amazon now, which is cool. So how do you start? Well, you go to our website, it's free. So all of our features, everything is free, up to 1,000 daily active users every single day. So it means you can use PlayFab, incorporate it inside of your game, you can do a soft launch, you have all your analytics and things that we're going to see in a bit, and then once you start to have a successful game, then you start paying us. And we work per daily active users in terms of pricing. So we cover player accounts, so it means that someone that's coming from Steam or someone that's coming from PlayStation Network, we will create an account inside of PlayFab. And then if your game is across many different consoles, the user can still use the same account and have the same progression. We're also keeping all the player properties of the user inside of PlayFab, so if you want to do matchmaking and things like this, it's super easy. And then we cover also everything for economy, so if you want to have virtual currencies or real money inside of your game, then we have a full transactional backend that is available through a dashboard where you can do adjustment inside of your game depending on where people are coming from. And for example, we have a rechargeable rate. So let's say that your user comes for the first time, he has 5,000 units of, let's say, like some coins, and you want them the coins to regenerate every hour, then you can do it from the back end. It's validated, it's secure, it's awesome. Then we have this philosophy of having a wide range of opportunities for items. So you can create a catalog of items, and the items can be all different. So you can have consumables, you have permanent items, items that disappear with time, items that goes together. But let's see exactly what it is. So you can adjust the description of your item inside of the dashboard. So it's really a content management system. And you can also do things such as do a chest. So you open a chest, and then there's odds of having different items dropping out of the chest. So this is good also for if you want to do a gang out, things like this. Sorry. And Yeah, so we also have the property that if you have a chest, well, you need a key to open the chest, so you can combine items together, so it's called the container philosophy, and that's something that is available also through PlayFab. In terms of data storage, well, all of your title data, so it means all your text, all of your, let's say, variables for a monster or things like this, you can put it in our backend, and then you can update it, and it's going to update it also in your game every time someone log in for the first time. So since all the data is server-side, then it's also secure. So as you know now, Photon is also available through PlayFab. So when you are using a premium service through PlayFab, you have Photon that comes in for free. So then the good deal is that if you want to make matchmaking, you can use the player properties that are inside of PlayFab, and it's a lot easier. And we have cloud script and custom build, so more or less is that if you want to extend our own API, well, you can do it. So, or if you want to validate your own custom information, such as, does this player really pass level 10? Does he have 10 friends? If yes, then I'm going to give him a virtual good. So you can do it through our server side, and you can launch your own build, having your own command line to start it. You can choose where the build's going to be around the world. That's also some nice features. For customer service, you can see all the users that comes inside of your game, where they're coming from, when they're coming from, and when you click on the user, you can have more details, such as what are the latest purchases that he did, what was the IP at that time, where is he logging from, and what are those items. So you can revoke items on the player, you can give them more players. It's really like a customer support tool. 100% of it. And then you have access to the data of the player. So if you want to change, for example, his scoring or his leaderboards or things like that, you have access to all this information. If you want to ban the player, kick the player, you can do it as well. So, so we have a full analytic platform, so it means you can do cohorts, you can do segmentation, you can do actions on top of segments. We have behaviors, we have correlation, and then it's 100% custom, so you can have any kind of data. It's up to you. And then you can export, you can query the data all the way you want. And then in terms of social, yes, we import the friend list from Facebook or from Steam and whatnot. We have leaderboards also. So you can have leaderboards of your friends, leaderboards of your clan, leaderboard of everyone, the global leaderboard, it's possible. And we have a chat system because of Photon services. And yeah, so when you are making a game, you want to talk a bit with your users, and you want to give them updates into what is going on. So we have a full news system. So it means that if you are saying, oh, next week we're going to do an update, or if you want to say we're going to have a happy hour tomorrow, then you can do an announcement and give them a date, a time, and then query this feature from the client side after that, so that you know that there's a news happening. And the good thing is that in the promotion part or engagement part, you can actually send push notification as well. So it means that if a friend of yours just connected, well, you can put the logic that, okay, he feels in that he found, he just went into that bucket, so let's send a push notification to me so I can go and play with my friend. Or if one of my building just finished to be upgraded, then it's also going to send a push notification, so it's possible to do it from the dashboard itself. And we have the principle of coupons as well. So if you want to create like some advertising or whatnot, then you can use those coupons with your virtual goods or your currencies. So when you are making live operation, you're working as a team, so you can give different rights to the team, read rights, write rights to every single part of the platform. And the good part about it is that if you having a publisher or something like this, then you can give like access to only analytic, to the publisher or localization team, only to the title data, so they can go and localize your game. And then they don't have access to the rest of it. And then we have all the audit history of all the action made by the agent inside of the platform, so you can evaluate it after that. So if you have an extended team, then you can see who done what and when. So we have tons of documentation, we have demos, we have a Unity SDK, of course, you can drop, and then you can drag and drop. You have leaderboards. If you want a shop, it's also drag and drop, and then you can customize it the way you want. It's super easy. And now we have a mobile demo with Photon that is available next week. And so it's a full mobile, it's open source, and then you can do, you can extend it and play with it. And it's working with PlayFab and Photon at the same time. So yeah, so basically if you have a good game, you better be prepared for it so that you have the tool to maintain your community, but also the tool to update your game and have relevant content for the people that love what you're doing, and also giving them what they want in the future. So yeah, so thank you. Any question? Like quick? Yes? Sorry, I didn't hear you well. Well, we have version control with CloudScript on our hand. Yeah, so that's possible. So we have revision, and then you can actually choose your revision that you want, and say I want revision 15, or go back to the latest one. So that's possible. So it's not like a Git or something like this. It's really our own, but we want to have a bridge with GitHub, so that if you want to have like your code on GitHub, then you can update it directly from the dashboard. All right. Anyone else? All right. Thank you.